The month of Ramadan continues, which is the 9th month in the Islamic calendar. Muslims worldwide continue to fast from sunrise to sunset. So let's take a look at some more facts about Islam. Welcome back to another FTD Facts episode, guys. My name is Leroy Kenton, and I see all of your requests asking us to do more videos on religion, from Christianity to Buddhism to atheism even. We'll definitely be working on those and rolling them out over the next several months. But let's continue with some more facts about Islam, because this is the month of Ramadan. To make it more clear for those of you who may not understand, Islam is the name of the religion. A person who practices Islam is known as a Muslim, and the adjective Islamic usually refers to places and objects, not people. You've also probably heard the term Mohammedanism. That's actually an outdated term for the faith, and to many Muslims it can be considered offensive. You will often find many Muslims not referring to Islam as a religion, but rather a way of life. Another way for saying a way of life is using the Arabic word deen. However, the argument does arise about the term religion because the term in itself is very loose. So to many people, when you say religion and way of life, you're saying the exact same thing. So that leads me to the question that I want to ask in this episode. When you hear the word religion, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Let me know down there. In Islam, there are 6 articles of faith known as the Arkan al-Iman. These are the basic beliefs that one must have to be considered a true Muslim. And these 6 beliefs are as follows: the belief in one God, the belief in all of the true prophets of God, the belief in the original scriptures revealed to Moses, David, Jesus, and also Muhammad, the belief in angels, the belief in the day of judgment and the hereafter, as well as the belief in the predestination by God, or fate. Now, in relation to Christianity, you've probably heard that Islam and Christianity are pretty much the same religion, but that's actually not the case at all. The Christian belief of Jesus dying for the sins of humanity is completely foreign to the Islamic concept of personal responsibility. So the fundamental beliefs of both religions are not the same. Islam teaches that on the day of judgment, everybody will be resurrected and they will have to be accountable to God for every word and deed. Consequently, every practicing Muslim is always striving to be righteous while hoping and praying for God's acceptance and grace. Whereas in Christianity, Jesus dies as a substitute for the sins of everyone, past, present, and future. And because of that, people have the opportunity to even be considered righteous by God in the day of judgment. Now, as you journey back through history, Muslims actually created a house of wisdom that was called Bait ul Hikmat in Arabic. This was active during the 9th and the 13th centuries, where both Muslims and non-Muslim scholars sought the translations of the world's knowledge into Arabic. Many historical works that may have otherwise have been lost were actually preserved. They were preserved in Arabic and Persian, and then later translated into Turkish, Hebrew, and Latin. Now, when many people think about women in Islam, you're thinking of someone wearing a burqa or other form of veil. However, did you know that a woman wearing a veil is not an Islamic requirement? It's more of a cultural practice than anything. While both women as well as men should dress modest in reverence to God based on Islamic teachings, there's no text in the Quran that suggests a woman should conceal her face in public. So taking a look at the calendar that the Muslims follow, Muslims actually follow the lunar calendar. The lunar calendar has about 11 days less than the solar calendar. So every year the month of the lunar calendar occurs 11 days prior to what it was in the solar calendar. In Islam, there are 2 major holidays, and they are Eid al Adha, which is at the end of the pilgrimage to Mecca, and then there is Eid al Fitr. This is at the end of the month of Ramadan. As mentioned before, Ramadan does fall in the 9th month of the solar calendar, and that is when it's believed that Muhammad received the Quran. Just a heads up, everybody, we do have a new channel. It's called FTD South Asia. The link to that is down below, and it's dedicated to everything relating to South Asian culture. So hop over there and subscribe. Now, here's something to take a note of, guys. If all the Quran somehow just poof, disappeared, vanished, the original Arabic text would still be alive. This is because millions of Muslims around the world called Hafiz, meaning guardians or memorizer depending on the context, have actually memorized every single letter of the Quran from beginning to end. As well as chapters of the Quran are recited by Muslims as part of the 5 formal prayers that they do every single day. And of course, that's to keep everything fresh in their minds, and those prayers are as follows. There's the Fajr, the dawn prayer, the Du'ur, the noon prayer, Asr is the afternoon prayer, Maghrib is the sunset prayer, and Isha is the night prayer. Another fact that may come as a surprise is that Mary, the mother of Jesus, is actually a very prominent figure in the Quran. Mary is mentioned in the Quran, as well as more information is given about her than in the entire New Testament. There's even a chapter in the Quran titled Mary. Now, to end off with bursting another misconception, the majority of Muslims are not Arabs. In fact, less than 15% of the Muslim population around the world are Arabs. And that's where I'm going to end this episode. This is the second FTD Facts video on Islam. This episode was brought to you by Grammarly.com. Grammarly is the leading software for improving your English. It checks hundreds of spelling and grammar errors for you. You can install it for free. The link is down below. As well as you can buy the upgraded version for even more features. Join hundreds of FTD Facts users that have already started using Grammarly. What are you waiting for? You can install it for free. Try it out. Link to that down below. As these facts on Islam are presented, you can begin to see a bit more of where Muslims are coming from. In videos like this, we aim to build bridges in humanity where we live in a world where we appreciate people for being people, rather than discriminating and showing hatred towards anyone. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want to support us in making more videos on FTD Facts, you can visit our Patreon page where you can become a monthly patron. Also, check out our first video on Islam, as well as a more recent video that we did on Ramadan. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in another video.